markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. He started his business in middle school. He would buy a bunch of snacks, keep them at his house, and every day bring snacks to school in his backpack. And when lunch started, he would go to a lunch table, lay out all the product, and people would come up to him and buy stuff from him. Business was frickin' booming. He started making $60 a day, and then that turned into $90 a day. Here's some pictures of money his customers gave him. He was nicknamed the Candy Man. One day, a teacher saw a bunch of students looking at his bag. She came up to him, asked him what was in it, and before he could answer, she had already dumped everything out and saw bags of Takis, money, and candy. She took him to the principal's office. He got a 3-day suspension.
Strange Moments Caught on Live TV Part 1. Stephen McDaniel stalked and murdered Lauren Gidding. He dumped her body in a dumpster by his house. He had thought he'd gotten away with it. This is the moment he knew he was caught.
Recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you heard any? Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Craziest things found in fast food. In 2005, a California woman was eating at Wendy's and she was having chili when suddenly she bit down on something, and when she looked at it, it was a severed human finger. And because of that, Wendy's suffered around $21 million in lost business. But people weren't buying it. How did that finger get in there? Well, after some investigating, this is what actually happened. This lady's husband got the severed finger from one of his co-workers who lost it in a work accident. He gave the finger to his wife. She cooked it, brought it to Wendy's, and then put it in her chili. Apparently, she was trying to get some lawsuit money. Well, once people found out what actually happened, she was sentenced to 9 years in prison. But she was released after 4 years on good behavior. She is not allowed inside of a Wendy's ever again. My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. Watch where you're going, Kyle, you stupid fat idiot. You're so fat. Oh yeah, Chad? Well, if I had a face like yours, I would sue my parents. What's that even mean? Hey, speaking of your parents, I hear that they're not getting along too well these days. When they get the divorce, will they just go back to being brother and sister? You take that back right now. You take that back right now, Kyle. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. My follower sent me the story of a business he ran at his school. This guy knew how to make really tasty pickles. Sweet and spicy. He brought a few to school one day and people tried them and they loved them. That's when he got his idea. He was gonna start making and selling homemade pickles. He has a locker he doesn't use, so what he would do is he would bring jars of pickles into school and leave them in his locker. He sent me a picture of his stock. Look at these beautiful jars of pickles that he made.
5-gallon bucket is completely full. It's probably 20 or so. This could make me some money.
Well, business was absolutely booming. Everybody around school wanted his pickles. They even called him the Pickle Man. It became so popular, in fact, that he hired 5 other people to help him sell the pickles. So far, he's made over $600, and he continues to make these pickles to bring every single day. You gotta respect the hustle. Kids that were legends in their high school. A follower submission. This guy sent me a story of how he became popular at his school. Recently, this guy moved to a brand new school. He had no friends and nobody knew who he was. Well, one day in class, he heard one of the popular kids say, "I'm hungry for some pizza." And that gave him an idea. He asked to go to the bathroom, and when he was in the bathroom, he went on DoorDash and ordered a few pizzas to be delivered to the school. The pizzas arrived when he was still in class, so he told the driver just to leave it in the office with his name on it. When lunch came around, he went to the office, grabbed the pizzas, and found that popular kid who said he was hungry for pizza, and gave him a whole box. That kid and his friends were hyped. He then took the other pizzas and sold a few slices to other students. He made 20 bucks, but after that, he was no longer a nobody. He became pretty popular, and now everyone calls him the Pizza Boy. Nice. Kids that were legends in their high school. A follower submission. This guy sent me a story of how he became popular at his school. Recently, this guy moved to a brand new school. He had no friends and nobody knew who he was. Well, one day in class, he heard one of the popular kids say, "I'm hungry for some pizza." And that gave him an idea. He asked to go to the bathroom, and when he was in the bathroom, he went on DoorDash and ordered a few pizzas to be delivered to the school. The pizzas arrived when he was still in class, so he told the driver just to leave it in the office with his name on it. When lunch came around, he went to the office, grabbed the pizzas, and found that popular kid who said he was hungry for pizza, and gave him a whole box. That kid and his friends were hyped. He then took the other pizzas and sold a few slices to other students. He made 20 bucks, but after that, he was no longer a nobody. He became pretty popular, and now everyone calls him the Pizza Boy. Nice. Interesting facts about lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you know that you're in a dream. You can control it and do whatever you want, like literally. I taught myself how to do it when I was younger and it is awesome. Did you know that time moves slower when you are in a dream? One person apparently lived a lifetime in a lucid dream. She said it felt like she was in there for 100 years. And she wasn't stuck, she said. She said it was epic, but it only actually happened over the course of a night. When you lucid dream, you can create a world, cities, houses, and even people that you can revisit every time you're back in that dream. It's like you have two lives, your waking life and your dream life. Dream characters are people that your subconscious puts in your dream. So say you're 100% lucid, you know you're dreaming, and you walk around a city. If you ask a question to somebody walking around, their answer is actually your subconscious talking to you. Have you ever had a lucid dream? Everyone needs one of these in their house. This is crazy. This is the White Goat recycling machine, and it makes toilet paper, but it makes the toilet paper out of computer paper. Feed the paper in, it shreds it up, mixes it with water, and then lays it out and dries it. After about 30 minutes, you get a fresh roll of toilet paper. It's pretty nice. Would you want one? Yo, this kid's Christmas was definitely ruined. This kid was like 8 years old, and he was at the mall with his parents. He was getting ready to see Santa. Well, Santa was on a break, and he was first in line to see him after he got back. So he was talking to his parents about what he was gonna ask Santa for Christmas. I'm gonna ask him for a plunger. I'm gonna ask him for a cat. I'm gonna ask him for a hairbrush. That's when he overheard something pretty disturbing.
Stupid kids, when I'm done with this shift, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna murder my entire family.
When he looked around to see who said that disturbing sentence, his heart sank. It was the mall Santa, and from that day on, Christmas became his least favorite holiday. Why did Santa say that, Mom? Huh? Why did Santa say? This man won an insect-eating contest, but what happened afterwards is heartbreaking. This is Edward Archbold from Deerfield Beach, Florida, and in 2012, he was competing in an insect-eating contest, where the champion wins a live snake. Well, this guy really wanted to win. Here he is, gobbling down tons and tons of roaches and worms. And he won! Go Edward! But little did he know that he would not be able to bask in that glory. After the contest, as he was waiting outside the pet store for his snake, he started gagging and heaving violently. 911 was called and he was taken to the hospital, where he passed away. People initially thought that he had a severe allergic reaction to the insects, but after the autopsy was done, it was determined that all the bugs he had eaten had gotten lodged in his windpipe, blocking off his oxygen. Rest in peace, Edward. This man ate an entire plane. His name is Mikel Latido. He was a French entertainer that became famous by eating indigestible objects. He started eating his unusual diet at age 9, and over the course of his life, the unusual objects he consumed included 18 bicycles, 15 shopping carts, 7 TV sets, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, 1 pair of skis, 1 computer, 1 waterbed full of water, 500 meters of steel chain, 1 coffin, 1 Guinness Award plaque, 45 door hinges, and 1 Cessna 150 light aircraft. He died in 2007 from natural causes. Craziest things found in food. Okay, this one's not food, but it's a drink. A man named Frank from Ormond Beach, Florida was sitting outside with his wife one day, drinking a Pepsi. After his first sip, he immediately gagged and spit it out. He realized that there was something very wrong with his drink. When he poured the Pepsi out, he noticed a pink goo coming out, followed by a black goo, and then a giant blob that wouldn't come out of the can. He immediately called the FDA. They grabbed the Pepsi and the weird thing that was in the can, brought it to a lab, and tested it. Turned out that big glob of goo in the can was a frog or a toad. Craziest things found in fast food. In 2008, a man from New York went to Subway and ordered himself a footlong. As he was biting into the sandwich, he felt something thin, hard, and sharp between his teeth. When he got a closer look, he saw a fairly large serrated knife that had been baked into the bread. He was absolutely pissed. He could have really messed up his mouth. He let the store know and hired a lawyer, and he accepted a settlement of $20,000. Craziest things found in fast food. In 2015, this man, Mr. Dixon, went to a KFC. He ordered the chicken tender meal to go and he took them home to eat them. But as he was sitting down and enjoying these chicken tenders, one of them tasted strange and was kind of chewy. He then gave that piece a closer look and he saw what looked to be a deep fried mouse. Completely disgusted, he took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook. The next day, he took it back to the KFC he bought it from and told the manager. And the manager freaked out and said, "Yes, I am so sorry, that is definitely a mouse. Would you like a free meal?" He declined the meal, took it home, and hired a lawyer. But the people at KFC corporate weren't buying it. They had him send it to their offices so it could be tested, and I guess it was actually just chicken. Seems a little sketchy, because when he went back, that manager was positive it was a mouse. Craziest things found in food. In 2005, a man named Clarence Stowers bought a pint of frozen custard from a shop by his house. He took it home and made himself a bowl. As he was enjoying it, he noticed a hard object in the custard. He took it out and put it in his mouth, thinking it was candy. Well, it was 100% not candy. When he spit it out into his hand, he realized it was in fact a severed human finger. Officials said that the finger belonged to a worker who had lost it in a food processing accident. People's worst fast food experiences. One day he was hungry, so he drove to McDonald's. He went inside and ordered himself a McChicken. He sat down and started diving in. Well, about halfway through the McChicken, his stomach started feeling terrible. He immediately realized that something was completely wrong with the sandwich. Well, he couldn't hold it in anymore. He went to the McDonald's bathroom and started puking his brains out. Once he finally stopped, all he wanted was to get the heck out of that McDonald's. But when he went outside, he realized that his car had been stolen. That sucks. Business ideas that backfired. This is Matthew Carpenter, and some years ago he had an idea and he started a business. His business allowed people to send their enemies envelopes filled with glitter and a note. And as you all know, glitter makes a huge mess and is very hard to clean up. Customers would visit his website, pay $10, and then they can send this envelope full of glitter to anyone, anywhere in the world. Just 24 hours after he launched the website, business was absolutely freaking booming. He received thousands of orders right away. All this traffic caused the website to crash multiple times that day. He tried his best to fulfill all the orders, and he made absolute bank. But he was starting to get incredibly frustrated and stressed out. First of all, he couldn't keep up with all these orders. Second of all, he had to be the one filling the envelopes with glitter, so his entire house was a mess. He eventually shut down the business, but still, like I said, the man made bank. My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. Hey, Kyle? Oh, hi, Stacy. What's up? I was wondering, if you wanted to go to the dance with me. Oh, you know, ew, I'm just kidding. I would never go to the dance with you. You're so gross. Hey, Stacy. What? Maybe you should try eating your makeup next time. It might fix your super ugly personality. What? Hey, don't talk to her like that, loser. Oh, hi, Chad. I would smack you in the face right now, but I'm against animal abuse, so... What did you just say to me? Actually, never mind. When this girl was in middle school, her parents were divorced and her mom had just died. Her dad was working in a different country at the time, so she was living with her aunt. Well, she left most of her school supplies at her mom's house, and one day in math class, she forgot her math book. This is what happened. Hey, sorry, I don't have my math book. Well, why not? Where is it? It's at my mom's house. Well, okay, I mean, I know your mom died, but did the house burn down too? No, you could have picked it up before school. You could have picked it up before school. Psychological tricks that actually work. If you're trying to get someone to agree with you or do something for you, nod your head slightly while you're saying it or asking, all right, how was your food? I hated it. Oh, that's so funny because the plate is empty. I get it. Yeah, no, everything was fantastic. Okay, well, do we want some dessert tonight? Huh? Yeah. Okay, tiramisu. Alright, one tiramisu coming right up. If you're asking somebody a favor and you want them to do it for you, make the favor seem so much bigger than it actually is. Hey, sweetie, can you do me the biggest favor ever? What is it? I'm so freaking sorry for asking. It's such a big favor. What is it? Can you just give me a cup of water? Oh, yeah, okay. Is he in the wrong for getting mad at his little cousin? He said that at a family gathering, his little cousin, who's 8 years old, asked if he could play games on his computer. He said sure, but he told his cousin not to mess with or delete any of the games downloaded on there. Well, I guess his little cousin wanted to play Fortnite, but there wasn't enough storage to download Fortnite. So he asks him if he could delete a game so he can download and play Fortnite. Our dude says, no, I told you no deleting games. Well, this kid did it anyway. He deleted Minecraft and installed Fortnite. When the older cousin found out, he was super angry. He spent 2 years building that world and now it's just gone. His little cousin said that Minecraft is for babies and Fortnite is way better. The older cousin then went to his aunt to tell her what her son did, and he demanded $40 to pay for the damages. His aunt said he was being ridiculous. She said he was trying to scam her and that Minecraft is for babies. Was he in the wrong, or are they? Did this mom go too far? She has a 9-year-old son who built a very impressive Minecraft world with a beautiful castle on an island, which he was very proud of. Well, since school was canceled due to the pandemic, he had trouble waking up in the morning. She said he was supposed to wake up at 7 a.m. every morning, but he had been sleeping in till about 9 or 10. She told him that if he doesn't start waking up on time, there will be consequences. And for 2 weeks after that, he was doing really well, waking up on time every day. Well, one day, he accidentally slept in until 11. The mom decided to follow through with what she said. She went to his computer and deleted his Minecraft world. When she told him, he was completely distraught, crying, saying it took him over a year to build it. She also said for days after that, he refused to eat any meals. Did she go too far? Are you freaking sick and tired of night lights that are super basic? Well, I found this video on the internet of a man taking the head off of a doll and turning it into a nightlight. It starts like this. So take the eyes out of a doll's head and put it on top of an old nightlight. And then this is what you get. Fantastic. People that were legends in their high school. At this kid's high school, the history teacher was absolutely jacked. He would bike 10 miles to school every morning. He kept an ab roller in his classroom, and every day for lunch he would eat salad and beans. Well, one day he was giving this kid's class a pop quiz, and this kid named Jeff, who was the strongest, biggest kid in the class, goes up to the history teacher and says, if I can punch you in the stomach and make you flinch, will you give the entire class 100% on these quizzes? And the history teacher agreed. So Jeff prepares. He's winding up and he punches the teacher as hard as he possibly can in the stomach. And the teacher did not flinch one bit. And the entire class had to take the quiz. Jeff went down in history as the kid who punched a teacher. And the teacher went down in history as the guy no one should ever mess with. Pictures that will make you uncomfortable. The way this bottle cap rests on the tiny hairs on this guy's head. It's almost like it's floating. These flea socks on a toilet seat. I bet that's very, very itchy. This picture definitely makes me uncomfortable. I can feel this picture. I don't like this one. Why is that lady holding her foot like that? Maybe she's lonely and her foot is her best friend. Who's to say? And this kid's face paint. Is that Thomas the Tank Engine? I don't like it. Snacks that seem whack but are actually freaking good, part 1. I love a good peanut butter sandwich, but I'm gonna tell you a way to really amp it up. It may seem weird at first, but I'm telling you it's delicious. If you don't believe me, I'll make one for myself and have one on camera. It is a peanut butter and pickle sandwich. Alright, so this person sent me a DM on Instagram, and they want to know if they are the asshole in this situation. I have not read it yet, but I'm going to read it right now. Let's see what we think. Here it is. So I recently got a new girlfriend. When I first met her, I was also going to meet my former best friend. We had a big fight about a week before over him being a weirdo. He sucked his cat's d. Okay, so he started trying to impress her. I think he means impress his girlfriend. We started arguing, and he repeatedly asked my girlfriend to have sex with him. She denied and said she would if she wasn't with me. What is happening? He lost me at the cat line. I'm gonna read the last paragraph he sent me because this is pretty. I am pretty sure she was cheating on me with him. He's also in a relationship. Today, she got so annoyed, she broke up with me. Less than 10 minutes later, he messages me saying, sorry, he didn't mean for this to happen. Later on, he broke up with his girlfriend. I'm almost certain they're going to date each other. Next time I see him, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Am I the ass? I don't know. Black markets kids ran in their schools. Follower submission. My follower sent me this story about somebody at his high school. Nobody actually knows his name and nobody has ever seen his face. What happens is a couple times per week, this guy shows up by one of the bathrooms wearing all black clothes and a black ski mask. And in his backpack, every day is about 15 McDoubles, which he sells to students for $3 each. This kid says business is always booming. Whenever this guy is spotted, word spreads fast. There are tons of people rushing to him in hopes to buy some McDoubles. He sells out every time he does this, and once that last burger is sold, he disappears, changes clothes, and takes off the ski mask. He's been doing this for 2 years, and like I said, no one has ever found out who he actually is. People's worst food creations. This person made a meal for his girlfriend, but all it is dry noodles, mayonnaise, and dino nuggets. This nasty looking creation is a crab meat and caviar sandwich. Apparently the person that made it complained that it was too fishy. Well, yeah. Somebody's coworker brought this meal in to lunch. It's just beans and pickles. That's disgusting. A lady's boyfriend surprised her with enchiladas, and these are the enchiladas he made. I mean, it's not even close. Before I get to the nastiest one, this app literally pays you to walk. You do it already, so why not get paid for it? If you want it, I'll have it right here. And this is supposed to be macaroni and cheese. I never knew somebody could mess that up so bad. Whatever you do, don't feed this to your dog. It's always a good idea to do some research before feeding something to your dog, but sometimes even the most common food items could be deadly. In this case, onions. Onions are toxic to dogs. They can cause hemolytic anemia and result in death. For example, one 45-pound dog would only have to eat one large onion for it to experience severely dangerous toxicity levels. So moral of the story is leave the onions to Shrek and just toss your dog a bone. North Korea has just banned their citizens from wearing this. Kim Jong-un has reportedly banned citizens of North Korea from wearing leather trench coats. And the reason? He doesn't want them stealing his signature look. These trench coats became popular in North Korea in 2019 after Kim Jong-un wore one on live TV. And soon, everybody wanted one. Nearly every marketplace got their hands on some and started selling them to citizens. And Kim Jong-un has had enough. So now there are literal fashion police patrolling the streets of North Korea and confiscating these leather jackets from stores and citizens. I'm honestly not surprised. Crazy things that happened on a plane. This man was on a flight, and there was some pretty bad turbulence for about 10 minutes. Well, right when it was over, the old lady who was sitting next to him pressed her button to call the flight attendant over. Yeah, is everything alright? The lady begins to yell at her. Yeah, I've been flying my entire life, and that turbulence that we just went through was unacceptable. I'm sorry? Yeah, I'm gonna contact the airlines and report every single one of you. The pilot obviously has no idea what he's doing. Okay, so she didn't slap her, but she should have. Instead, she just walked away and ignored that woman for the rest of the flight. Old school photos that are honestly super cool. These young gentlemen hanging out and having beers while serving the war in Vietnam. This is what hanging out in a college dorm room looked like in 1910. This picture actually blows my mind. These people at what looks to be an amusement park. This was taken in the 1940s. This here is Lonnie Johnson with his invention, the Super Soaker. And last but not least, this man with his pet duck that he raised in 1994. This dude's a legend. Black markets kids ran in their schools. A follower submission. When this kid was in 7th grade, he was really good at computers and programming. He even knew how to make viruses. So he had an idea. He offered his services up to students that had to give a PowerPoint presentation but didn't do the assignment. What he would do was put a virus on a flash drive, sell it to a student for $20, and then when that student has to give their PowerPoint, they plug this flash drive into the teacher's computer. The virus makes the computer act very weird and shut down, resulting in the PowerPoint presentation being delayed. All in all, this kid made $200. Until one day the school was confused why so many computers were breaking down, so they brought in a tech expert to see what the problem was. Still, he was never caught. Why does this exist? This right here is a glove made out of shark skin, and you can buy it online for $900. It was made by an Australian designer, and these aren't just simply gloves made out of shark skin. The inside of these gloves are lined with thousands and thousands of micro thorns. These thorns are pointed inwards, so that means putting the glove on would be super easy, but if you wanted to pull it off, it would feel like 10,000 fish hooks tearing up your hand. Website says you could cut it off, but I'm just wondering what the point is. Would you wear these? This picture is not what it seems. It looks like just a passenger seat of a car, but there is something sitting on the seat, and people are having a really hard time figuring out what it is. Have a good hard look. If you found it, like this video and comment, but don't spoil it. What word of 5 letters has 1 left when 2 are removed? This is a hard one. I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. The answer is stone. Do you get it? You can only subscribe if you got it right. Can you spot what's wrong with this picture? Warning, it's a little creepy. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. Double tap for good luck. Only people that got it right can subscribe. I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. What am I? I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. I'm a map. You can only follow if you got it right. This is the most confusing picture on YouTube, and I want to know if any of you can get it right. Double tap if you're up for the challenge. Is the girl and the horse walking towards the camera or away from the camera? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Can you figure out what's going on in this picture? This picture's not what it seems, and people are having a very hard time figuring out what's actually going on. Have a look. If you figured it out, like this video and comment, but don't spoil it for anybody. Only 1% will get this answer right. Double tap the video for good luck. How many legs does this elephant have? I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. Looks can be deceiving, but this elephant only has 4 legs. You can only subscribe if you got it right. Most dangerous toys of all time. These are water beads. Colorful beads that when you put into water, they grow up to 200 times their size. Seems fun, but it's very bad news for any kids that want to eat them. There have been reports of kids eating these, and these balls growing inside their intestines, blocking it, and then needing surgery. Some brands were recalled in 2012, but mostly they're still sold today. People are selling their imaginary friends on eBay. You heard that right. People are and have been selling their imaginary friends on eBay. Now, most of them are probably doing this as a joke, like this girl here, who's selling her imaginary friend that's in very good condition. But check this out. In 2007, an eBay user named The Wild and Crazy Ollie listed his imaginary friend on eBay. He included this picture. He said this picture was of his imaginary friend and his imaginary friend's friend. Well, people started bidding, and this dude's imaginary friend sold for $2,750. Times people got totally schooled. This kid posted an update saying he bought a house at 18, and then Snoop Dogg comes in, calls him out for actually being in Home Depot. This guy tried to start something by saying over and over again that Lion King is overrated, but he got quickly called out because that definitely says Loin King. The wording on this newspaper article is definitely unfortunate. I'm pretty sure firsthand is 1 word. When it's 2 words, it seems a little sus. And this news anchor who just doesn't give a crap anymore. People who are having the worst day. As this person's plane was driving to the runway to take off, they looked outside the window and saw this. There are 2 bags of luggage being left behind. Everyone else's luggage was on the plane. That's super unfortunate. Someone left a candle under their TV. Obviously, the TV melted. What did they think was gonna happen? This person accidentally fell asleep when their food was delivered to their door. When they woke up to go get it, they saw a squirrel eating fries from their bag. Before I get to the funniest one, this app lets you erase anything from the picture. If you want it, get it right here. This dude's sweat pattern looks just like and apparently this happens every time he works out. That's tough. The weirdest businesses ever. Do you have a large piece of land that requires many hours of mowing? Well, then you might want to rent a goat. Believe it or not, goat rentals are very popular for people that have a lot of land and a lot of grass. Rent-A-Goat is one of these companies. Rent-A-Goat transports the goats to your property, and the goat wrangler watches as the goat walks around and eats 8 pounds of vegetation between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Next time you don't want to mow your lawn, ask your parents if you can rent a goat. I'm sure they'll say yes. People who got incredibly lucky. This guy and his girlfriend bought a board game from a thrift store, but when they opened the board game, they found a bunch of this old jewelry. They got it appraised, and apparently this jewelry was worth thousands of dollars. That's insane. This guy accidentally shot his TV with an arrow, but the arrow went right into the HDMI spot, and the TV still worked. But my question is, why was he shooting an arrow in the house? Sus. This person bought an ice cream cone from a gas station, and when they opened it up, there was 2 in there. That would be the best day ever. Before I get to the craziest one, one, this app lets you go live even if you have 0 followers. Go right here to get it. Back in the day, this guy's grandpa was shot, but luckily he had these 6 coins in his front pocket, which absolutely saved his life. People who had the worst day. A man returned to his parked car to see that it was damaged, and then he found this note that said, "I hit your car, but I'm pretending to write my info because people are watching me. Hope you can fix it. Good luck." Who does that? This skeleton was found in Pompeii. Apparently, this guy was running from the eruption when a giant boulder fell from the sky and hit him in the face. That's rough. A man spent a week in the hospital because of a heart attack, and this is his hospital bill. That's super messed up. This Brazilian prisoner spent 5 years digging an escape tunnel, but he gets stuck and put back in prison. That's super unfortunate. People who are having the worst day. This lonely puzzle piece was found in a parking lot, and I bet you somebody somewhere is losing their mind. This person's daughter spilt a milkshake in the back of her car. Yeah, that'll take a while to clean up. A family's house cat tracked down the hidden stash of catnip, resulting in catnip all over this person's clothes and all over their house. That cat must have been fiending. This dude got his sofa stuck and now needs professional help to get it unstuck. He's paying $25 for anybody that can help him. This dude just wanted a cup of hot chocolate. When he got the hot chocolate, there were tons of dead ants floating in there. How does this even happen? Before I get to the nastiest one, this app pays you to learn about money. And if you're not learning about money, then what are you doing? If you want it, get it right here. Make that money. And this cockroach who completely ruined this person's morning. If I saw that, I would just throw the whole house away. People who should probably stay off the road. This dude transporting a giant Christmas tree to his house. Where did you even get that thing? This kind soul making sure this dresser doesn't fall off the car while it's on the highway. It's just dangerous all around. This dude transporting planks of wood in his car. There's a million ways this could go terribly wrong. This person decided to transport their TV home like this? Why? There's a trunk and a back seat. This truck without a back carrying a ton of bricks. I would not want to be behind this guy. This dude carrying a plank of wood out of his window. My question is, why didn't he just put it in the back of the truck? And last but not least, this complete idiot who is smoking outside of her window while pumping gas. Honestly, she should probably never leave her house. This picture has an incredibly disturbing backstory. At first glance, it just looks like a girl that doesn't want to have her picture taken, but that's not the case. This is 14-year-old Regina K. Walters, and what had happened was a man named Robert Ben Rhodes kidnapped her, took her to this location, snapped this photo, and then murdered her. In this picture, she is literally trying to stop her murderer. Pictures that aged horribly. This advertisement for the Titanic. It says right here, the largest and safest steamer in the world. They had no idea what was coming. This diet advertisement saying sugar gives you the energy to eat less. Once again, little did they know. Somebody wrote this article in 2010 of 10 things that are wildly overhyped, and number 1 is the iPhone. Well, they were completely wrong. To this day, the iPhone is still the number 1 smartphone in the world. A New York Times article from 1903 says that man won't fly for 1,000,000 years. They were obviously wrong, and just 66 years later, a man landed on the moon. Really fast, this app lets you erase anything from pictures. If you want to, get it right here. And last but not least, the Nickelodeon logo used to be shaped like a foot. If you know, you know. These pictures are confusing the whole world. Where does this guy's legs go? At first glance, I thought this was a picture of a crow. I'm having a really hard time determining what side of the gate she's on. This picture doesn't make any sense. And this video has been confusing me for days. Where are the cars going? If you know what's happening in any of these, comment and like this video. Pictures that will definitely creep you out. This is a mother centipede guarding all of her babies. Absolutely horrifying. This picture was taken at this dude's birthday party. I guess his name is Dick, the birthday boy. But what the heck is this? If this was my birthday party, I would definitely shit my pants. Apparently, this is a dentist training tool. And it's obviously very creepy. Why does the mouth gotta look like that? This dude's girlfriend took a bite out of a blueberry muffin, and this is what the inside looked like. This has gotta be a bad omen. While taking garbage to the dumpster at work, this person saw hair sticking out from under the lid. I'm not sure what this hair actually was, but I'd definitely be afraid that there was a dead body in there. And last but not least, this screenshot from a Spider-Man game for the Game Boy. Willem Dafoe looks absolutely creepy here. Pictures that get worse the longer you look at them. These Disney princesses are creeping me out, especially Jasmine. This Photoshop picture of the Friends cast is just plain wrong. This toy looks like a knockoff of the Avengers. It's called the Revengers. My favorite is Greg. And this one. Is that the world's tiniest cowboy? Look at him go! Here's a picture that made me uncomfortable today. This is a urinal shaped like a Venus flytrap. First of all, I wouldn't want to take a pee inside of a Venus flytrap's mouth. And also, if I was peeing over this urinal and I fell forward on accident, that might be a really big problem. Look at those things. Here's another one. Is it fried chicken? No, it's an ice cream bar that looks like fried chicken. It makes me sick to my stomach just looking at it. Look at these bad boys. People are calling them Hair Jordans. I might get myself a pair. And last but not least, this bathwater. Look at that. You wouldn't catch me bathing in it or drinking it. I might smell it though. Pictures that will make you uncomfortable. This is a funeral hearse on the way to a funeral, but look at its license plate. I certainly hope not. I don't like what's going on between the mustard and toothpaste here. I don't like it at all. Who the heck took a bite out of a deodorant stick? That person definitely needs some help. And why'd they have to ruin a perfectly good highlighter? And this birthday cake that says find the toenail. If my mom gave me that for my birthday, I'd probably throw up. These pictures will make you very uncomfortable. We got a hot dog. Ketchup no, mustard no, toothpaste? Yeah. What? This guy made his own kind of cereal. Doritos, Mountain Dew, and he ate it. That's a little gross. I don't know what kind of Simpsons situation we have going on here, but why? This is what a dirty keyboard looks like. You dirty, dirty keyboard. Pictures that prove just how small we are. Mount Fuji, photographed by somebody in a small town. Look how gigantic it is. This has got to be the biggest bed in the world. Look how small she is compared to it. If I had a house big enough, I would definitely buy this. This extinct ancient centipede that was taller than a human man. Could you imagine if these things still existed today? This here is the largest heart in the world, and it belonged to a whale. This actually blows my mind. Really quick, this app lets you erase anything from the picture. If you want it, get it right here. And last but not least, this long winding fire escape that would make me sick if I ever had to use it. Interesting pictures that'll kind of blow your mind. Somebody captured this photo of the actual end of a rainbow, and turns out there wasn't a pot of gold. This is the face piece of the Statue of Liberty before it was put on the statue, and this by itself makes her look super grumpy. This giant lobster claw that was sold at Costco, it was sold for $70. I mean, that makes sense. This thing is huge. After Russians found out that McDonald's were leaving Russia for good, people started buying and stocking McDonald's food items in their fridge. This library that lets people rent out cake pans. I've never seen this before in my life. A Subway sign, but the way is red. I thought it was a GameStop at first. And last but not least, this hospital receipt for somebody that had a baby in 1940. The total, $57.50. That's insane. These design fails are incredibly suspicious. Up first, we have a Spider-Man bounce house. Cake, anyone? Next, we have an elephant slide, but look where the slide comes out. And last, we have another bounce house, but this time it's Pikachu. And just see for yourself. The worst Christmas gifts ever. One Christmas morning, this kid was sitting by the tree with his parents, and he was opening up a gift. He got Cards Against Humanity. I heard about this. It was the card game Cards Against Humanity. I'm sure most of you know what that is. Now, he wasn't too hyped about this gift, but he had heard a few things about it, and he was excited to play it. But then his parents said this. Okay, yeah, but there's one rule with that gift. You cannot play it until you're 18 years old, okay? Dad, I'm only 15. I know, so you can play that game in 3 years. Why would they even give him a gift like that if they weren't going to let him play it for 3 years? That's absolutely crazy. This is the dumbest school rule ever. The hallways in this one middle school were in a circle, like this, and the school implemented a one-way hallway system. Students can only walk clockwise down this hallway, and kids would get in trouble if they walked the opposite way. Well, one day this guy was exiting his first class of the day, and his next class was right next door, except it was in the opposite direction of the one-way hallway system. So here's his classroom, here's his next class, and according to the school rules, if he wanted to get to this class, he would still have to walk all the way around the hallway. Well, he thought it was ridiculous. Just this once, he was just gonna walk to his next class. So he did. A teacher saw this.
Kevin, nope, one-way system. You went the opposite way. That's against the rules, and you know that.
Okay, but my first two classes are right next to each other. Why can't I just, go in?
No, you know the rules. To the principal's office, okay?
What's the point point? What's the point? He went to the principal's office, got a detention, was late for his class, and received the tardy. Times things were just completely messed up. One person got a tornado warning alert on their phone, and then 2 minutes after that, an alert of shots fired nearby. But then a minute after that, it seemed like Pokemon Go was trying to start some trouble. Look, this catering advertisement is super strange. They cater any event: wedding, graduation, horse funeral, drug intervention, Tuesdays, horse funeral, a quiet night alone, return of gym, anniversary of horse funeral. I wonder if they cater horse funerals. And this dog drawing contest on Facebook. This was first place and this was second place. I do like the first one better though. Crazy things kids did in school. This one middle school student was voted most likely to succeed by all of his peers. Everyone loved him. He was very popular. Well, a week after that, he was on the news.
Good afternoon. We are here with Kyle Mellon, who is being called a hero after helping put out a fire that started on the school bus. Kyle, what do you think of all this?
It's crazy. Yeah, I was just sitting on the bus and I started to smell smoke. The bus stopped and I helped everyone get out and I helped pour water on the fire and here we are. I just had to do the right thing.
Well, it sounds like you did the right thing, Kyle, and we all thank you. I have been Tracy Stevenson here at Channel 2 News.
He was a hero, but that changed pretty quickly. The school was able to recover the security footage on the school bus, and what they saw wasn't what they expected.
Good evening. We have an update on the school bus fire. Apparently, the fire was started by Kyle Mellon, the kid that we called a hero. I just wanted to update you and tell you that he is no longer a hero.
Asking restaurant workers to write a confession on my delivery order part 3. It's lunchtime, I want a sandwich. So we got Potbelly. So once again, I did Uber Eats. Said this. Let's hope they do it. All right, here we go. Here. All right, let's open her up. I think I see a... Oh my god, for Elliot, to fulfill your request, a secret, I have loved my best friend for almost a decade, only her and my girlfriend know, Hitoshi. Really? That's so juicy.
Craziest things that happened at school. This woman was a teacher in a very rough neighborhood, and one day, immediately after school, she got a phone call from the principal telling her to not leave her classroom. Apparently, a student of hers, earlier that day, was bragging to another student about how he was gonna kidnap his teacher. The person he bragged to told the principal what was going on. That's when the principal called the teacher, telling her to stay in the classroom, and then they searched the parking lot. They found this kid in his van with zip ties and a knife, waiting for her to leave the school. He was then arrested. That's terrifying. When this girl was in second grade, she loved hockey. She loved to play it and she loved to watch it. Well, she wore a shirt to school one day that said puck on it. P-U-C-K, like a hockey puck. The principal saw her shirt and she was called into the office. Stacy, that shirt is incredibly inappropriate. But why it says puck like a hockey puck? Okay, but it's one letter away from the F word. What's the F word? Oh my god, Stacy, puck is too close to I'm gonna have to suspend you. So she goes home and tells her mom what happened. Mommy, I got suspended today because my shirt, it says puck and it's too close to the word. Where did you learn that word? My principal. Oh really? Okay. Anyway, she called the principal. Hi, yeah, so you suspended my daughter because she wore a hockey shirt to school? How ridiculous and stupid can you be? Screw you. The principal was so embarrassed that next week she quit that job. This person went to a very conservative Christian middle school, and Harry Potter books and books like Harry Potter were banned. Well, tons of kids wanted to read them, but the school and their parents wouldn't let them. Well, this one kid had tons of Harry Potter books at his house, and he had a great idea. He started selling them secretly at school. Anytime he went to a thrift store, he would look around to see if they had any Harry Potter books, and if they did, he'd buy it for super cheap. He was selling these for $10 a book, and business was booming. Over the course of a year and a half, he made around $200, which is not bad, but the school found out about him doing this, and he got suspended for a week. That's insane. Times house cats revealed their evil side. If I woke up to this, I would be super freaked out. Why is he sitting like that? And why does he look like that? No. This one's kinda cute. Still, a little scary. Hey yo, I think someone's peeking up from above. What is going on here? This one's not really evil. I like this cat. He looks wise. Pictures that prove just how hot it's been around the world. Believe it or not, this is a candle. And as you can see here, it started to melt without being lit. It's been so hot that this plastic playground underground slide began to melt as well. That's insane. Street lights are even melting because of the heat, causing cities to make new ones with materials that don't melt. It was very hot out and this dude wanted to test a theory, so he put cookie dough on a sheet in his car. A little while later, he checked on them and look, freshly baked cookies. The heat also caused this woman's rear view mirror to melt and start sliding down her windshield. Really quick, this app lets you erase anything from a picture. If you want it, get it right here. And last but not least, this is Ariana Grande, and this is the Wax Museum Ariana Grande, which as you can see is melting because of the heat. This is probably the weirdest thing that has ever been sold at an auction. Queen Victoria was Britain's longest reigning monarch. She died at the age of 81 in 1901. Well, in 2015, a pair of her underwear went up for auction, and people lost their minds. A bidding war quickly started. Everyone wanted Queen Victoria's undies, mainly because they were in great condition and they were stamped with her initials. Queen Victoria's bloomers eventually sold for over $16,000. I guess even from the grave, she still got it. Black markets kids ran in their schools. At this one kid's high school, there was a kid that would always wear black. He kind of had a gothic type style. He looked like the quiet kid, if you know what I mean. He always carried around a giant duffel bag. Nobody really knew why he carried it around, and people were scared of him. Till one day at lunch, a student saw this kid open his duffel bag, and inside of it, there were 3 12-packs of canned soda, Coke, Sprite, and Voltage Mountain Dew. Turns out, this kid was just selling goods. He would sell that soda every single day, and he would pretty much sell out. And when more people realized that it was only soda in the duffel bag, his business grew even bigger. When he ran out of soda, he restocked and sold more. One kid found out later that the reason that he was doing this was because his family was struggling with homelessness, and this business he ran in school was to help his family buy food. Mad respect. Random pictures that kind of blew my mind. This airplane bathroom has a window in it. There's nothing better than pooping with a view. I guess some stores in Europe don't refrigerate their eggs, which doesn't make any sense to me. Don't they need to be kept cold? We've all seen these buttons to press if we want to cross the street, but some places also have buttons for people on horseback. That's pretty interesting. This gardening store has an aisle of death for bug and weed killer and an aisle of life for fertilizers, potting soil, and gardening supplies. That's hardcore. This banana. I can tell you right now, I have never seen a banana as straight as this. Before I get to the last one, this app will teach you how to be rich when you get older. It also pays you to learn about money. If you want it, get it right here. And last but not least, this dandelion that's almost 2 feet long. That's a big boy. Steak knives to school and started throwing them at his classmates during recess. He's trying to kill us! You should never get lemons from a restaurant. If you like to go to restaurants and ask for lemon water or lemon soda or lemon anything, here's why you should stop. Tons of studies have been done, and tons of lemons have been tested, and it turns out that 70% of lemons you order from a restaurant contain feces and other bacteria. This woman is so out of touch. This guy shared a story of his best friend. His best friend got married to this very, very rich girl. This girl's family always had tons of money, so she never really had to work for anything in her entire life. Well, one day this guy and his new wife were doing laundry, and as his wife was emptying the pockets of some jeans, she came across a ton of change. Quarters, dimes, pennies, a decent amount of change. Instead of putting the change in a jar or something, she threw it in the garbage. And he was like, "Hey yo, did you just throw all those coins away?" "Yeah, doesn't everybody?" Apparently, she had been throwing away loose change her entire life, and she truly believed that everyone else did the exact same thing. Me personally, I go to the Coinstar Jewel at least twice a month. How privileged can you be? The dumbest school rules ever. This one elementary school had a rule where a student, if they were feeling sick, would not be able to go home or call their parents unless they had a fever or puked. Well, one day, this kid's stomach was super messed up. He wasn't feeling good at all. "Miss, can I go to the nurse's office, please? Ow." So he goes to the nurse's office. "So it's a stomach ache, huh?" "Yes." "Yeah. Yeah, it hurts so bad." "Well, you don't have a fever and you didn't throw up, and you can't stay here. I have to send you back to class. I'm sorry." "Are you serious?" "Yeah, you know the rules." Well, this made him super mad because his stomach was actually hurting pretty bad. So he stared at her, and with incredible focus and pure dedication, he somehow managed to get himself to throw up right on the nurse. Can I go home now? The school changed that rule shortly after that. This teacher is petty. In high school, this girl turned in a paper for her English class. She noticed that she got a 99%, which is pretty good, but she wanted to flip through to see where she lost some points. She noticed that her teacher had circled a word and put, "This is not a real word, -1 point." But the word was egomaniacal, which is definitely a real word. So she confronted her teacher. "Hi miss, I noticed I got points off of my paper for using the word egomaniacal. That's a real word." "No, Stacy, no, that is not a real word." Yes it is. I promise you it is." "No, it's not. Are you calling me stupid?" "No, I'm just saying egomaniacal is a real word. Look it up." "You know what? That's it. I'm giving you a detention for being insubordinate." To which she responded, "How do you know the word insubordinate but not egomaniacal? Maybe you are stupid." And because she said that, she got another detention. Robert Pattinson had a stalker in 2008, and this is how he dealt with it. In 2008, while filming a movie in Spain, Robert Pattinson said that he had a stalker. She would stand outside his apartment all day, every day, for weeks. Robert eventually got so bored and lonely that one day he confronted her and told her that he would have dinner with her. This crazed fan was super excited, but unfortunately for the fan, this wasn't the fairy tale first date with a celebrity that she had expected. Basically, for the entire dinner, Robert Pattinson complained about everything in his life, and he wouldn't shut up. The dinner ended, she went home, and she never came back to stalk him ever again. Robin Williams almost played the Joker. As they were casting for Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film, Warner Brothers really wanted Jack Nicholson to play the Joker. However, at first he said no. The studio then asked Robin Williams, and it was always his dream to act in a superhero movie. He said yes, and he was super hyped to play the Joker. Turns out, Warner Brothers only asked Robin Williams so they could tell Jack Nicholson that Robin Williams took it. When Jack found out, he's like, "Actually, never mind, I want to play the Joker." And they took it away from Robin and gave it to Jack Nicholson. Robin Williams was super mad. He said Warner Brothers had to give him an apology before he ever worked with them again. They apologized. Well, fast forward a few years, and Warner Brothers was casting for Batman Forever, the 1995 film. They offered Robin Williams the role of the Riddler, and again, he was super hyped, but the same exact thing happened. That role was taken away from him and given to Jim Carrey. They did Robin Williams hella dirty. The worst customers of all time. This guy was bartending a private party, and one of the guests came up and asked, "Hey man, can you plug my phone in to play a song?" "Yeah man, I got you." "Thank you so much, bro. Hey, here's 20 bucks for you. Appreciate it." The night went on, and finally it was time for all the guests to leave. The bartender saw that guy leaving, and he said, "Hey bro, don't forget your phone." That guy then threw a beer at him and said, "How about you get a real job and leave me alone, asshole?" Okay. The bartender then took that phone to his friend, had him wipe everything off of it, and kept that iPhone for himself. Nice. A very sad Shrek theory. Everyone hates Lord Farquaad. I know I do. He's the worst. Well, listen to this. At the beginning of the first Shrek movie, we are introduced to a bunch of fairy tale characters, including Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Now, fast forward a few minutes to when everyone is in front of Shrek's swamp. Papa Bear and Baby Bear. But where's Mama Bear? Well, later in the movie, in Lord Farquaad's bedroom, we see this. I believe that's Mama Bear as a bedroom rug. Sully from Monsters Inc. was murdered by the humans. Crazy, I know, but listen up. In Monsters Inc., Randall says to Sully, "I heard humans skin monsters and make toilet covers out of their fur." Nonsense, right? No. In a Pixar short called Partysaurus Rex, we see this. Rest in peace, Sully. The most depressing ending to a Tom and Jerry episode. Everybody knows Tom and Jerry. It's a lovely TV show featuring a cat and a mouse who are constantly fighting and chasing each other. Usually these episodes end in a funny, lighthearted way. But in 1956, in the last episode of Blue Cat Blues, something different happened. Tom and Jerry have given up on life, and they both sit by each other on a train track while we hear train horns coming from the distance. And they just sit there and wait for the train. See for yourself. Who did this? The toy you're about to see is Bert from Sesame Street. It's called All Alone Bert, and it's literally just him sitting in a canoe all by himself, looking incredibly sad. And then there's this picture of him just saying, "I am alone. Where is friend? Where is anybody?
What's the frickin' point of this toy?
Black markets kids ran in their schools. This is a quick one, but it makes me very mad. When this kid was in 6th grade, there was a teacher that started selling candy to students in between classes. How nice, right? Well, one kid thought that the teacher's prices for candy were way too high, so he had an idea. He went out and bought the same type of candy the teacher was selling. He bagged it up and brought it to school, where he sold it to students for way less than the teacher was charging for her candy. And as you guessed it, business was frickin' booming, and people loved him for it. Eventually, the candy-selling teacher got mad. She went to the school principal, and they put an end to all candy sales. What a salty woman. So she can sell, but he can't? Shame.
SpongeBob and Sandy weren't doing karate in this episode. They were having intercourse. The episode opens up with SpongeBob in his house, alone. But then Sandy comes out of nowhere, wanting to do karate. So SpongeBob puts on his gloves, and then he stops, looks at the camera, puts his helmet on, and says safety first. I think we all know what this means. Later in the episode, SpongeBob calls Sandy late at night and says, "Hey, do you want to do karate?" And she says, "Nice try." That was obviously a booty call. Long story short, SpongeBob keeps getting in trouble at work because he can't focus. He's distracted by karate. Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob if him and Sandy keep doing karate, he's fired, so they stop for a while. And they both had it under control until one day Sandy saw SpongeBob doing karate on a sausage. And then she couldn't contain it anymore. They went to the park, and they did karate everywhere. And this scene when they're done doing karate and SpongeBob is laying down, just a bit of pillow talk. It makes perfect sense to me.
My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. Excuse me, sorry. Hey, watch where you're going, loser. Hey, Kyle, nobody likes you, bro. Remember that. Hey, Billy, come here. What? If you were on fire and I had a glass of water, I would drink the water. What? What doesn't kill you disappoints me. What do you say? Well, that's just... Shh.
My favorite comebacks part 4. Enjoy.
Hey, Kyle. Yeah, what's up, man? Your dad's the janitor, right? Yeah, he is. Oh. Have him clean that up for me. I heard your parents were getting a divorce. Does that mean they'll just go back to being brother and sister? Shut your mouth.
My favorite comebacks part 5. Let's dive right in. Here it is.
Hey, yo, Kyle. What's up? Just so you know, nobody likes you, bro. You're freaking weird. Do you eat your cereal with water? No, why would I do that? That's interesting, because I heard your dad never came home with the milk. You better shh.
My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. Excuse me, sorry. Hey, watch where you're going, loser. Hey, Kyle, nobody likes you, bro. Remember that. Hey, Billy, come here. What? If you were on fire and I had a glass of water, I would drink the water. What? What doesn't kill you disappoints me. What do you say? Well, that's just... Shh. My favorite comebacks. Let's get to it. Hey, Kyle. What's up, Chad? I saw you at Target last night shopping with your mom. Did she pick out all your clothes for you, little baby? Huh? What? Do you even have any friends? Such a loser. You know, Chad, I don't hate you, but if you were drowning, I'd give you a high five. Your mom told my mom that you don't know how to swim. You better shut your mouth, Kyle. Hey, don't be ashamed of who you are. That's your parents' job. Or should I say parent? I heard your dad went to get you chicken nuggets and he never came back. I'm so sorry. How dare you say that? This woman's day gets ruined in 5 seconds. This lady is a mom who's expecting her 3rd child. Here she is, walking to her car to head to her gender reveal party. She's carrying one of those gender reveal balloons. You pop it and it tells you if you're having a boy or a girl. I'm sure she was incredibly excited to go to the party and find out the gender of her new baby. But her son had other plans. That kid is a savage. Crazy things people did as kids. When this girl was 6 years old, she had a younger sister who was 3. Her name was Casey. Well, one day she went downstairs and told her mom, "Hey mom." "Yeah, honey?" "I think Casey is dead." Her mom then obviously freaked out and ran upstairs. "Oh my god, what?" When she got up there, Casey was fine, so she went back downstairs to ask her daughter why she said that. When she got down there, her daughter was eating cookies. She told her mom that she said that because she wanted to get her out of the kitchen so she could sneak into the cookie jar. In elementary school, there was an older guy that lived by the school, and for some reason, all the kids were convinced that this older man was evil and hated children. So every day on their walk home, these kids would throw a bunch of rocks into his yard in hopes that when he would mow the lawn, he would run over the rock and the lawnmower would blow up. That's a little sinister. This teacher said he has a thing he does whenever he loses control of his class. He grabs a stapler and says, "Anyone want to put a staple in my hand?" The physical pain would be nothing compared to how I feel right now, when all I want to do is help you guys reach your full potential, but you don't care. Somebody then usually doubts his seriousness and says, "Yeah, I'll put a staple in your hand." That's when he walks up to their desk, puts the stapler down, and puts his hand down and says, "Do it." The students usually give a nervous giggle and they pretend to do it, but they never do. Well, one day he did this little stunt again, and a student was like, "Yes, mister, I'll put a staple in your hand." He brings a stapler over, puts his hand down, and the student actually staples his hand. He didn't freak out or anything. He calmly looked at his hand, asked, "Did that really happen?" Pulled the staple out while blood trickled down, and he said, "Are we done? Can I go back to teaching now?" All the students were completely shocked. The kid that did it felt so bad that he stapled his own hand at the end of class.
This is the most terrifying bathroom of all time. This bathroom is located at a bar in Japan, and this face sits right in front of the toilet. Well, the toilet seat has pressure sensors, so whenever somebody sits down, this face moves slowly closer to you while singing a drunken tune, until it eventually kisses your kneecaps. Watch the video. Creepiest toys of all time. This toy was spotted on Facebook. Apparently, a lady is making them and selling them, and I think it's absolutely horrifying. It's a human and deer hybrid baby doll. And I must ask you, would you want this toy?